Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and this is about the best gear of 2020, in my opinion. Oh yeah, 2020, what a year. I've never been this much at home, which is obviously fantastic. I get to spend more time with my wife than I ever have, and I love it, love her. But I've been a road dog for all my life. I started to play ice hockey when I was 6, always traveling to the games to play wherever, in and out of Finland, in Europe and stuff. And then when my music career took off, over 20 years ago, I've been on the road ever since. I played approximately 100 shows per year, sometimes even more. I guess 150 is the most and probably 60 is the least. I've played shows in a year for the past 20 years. So this has been a different year, to put it mildly, indeed. But something cool. I started this YouTube channel, like seriously, for real, and got some nice equipment. Some of it came out in 2020, some probably years earlier, but it was new to me, and I'm just gonna go through the gear that I think was and is the best that I started to use this year. First, guitars. This LTD is fantastic. I'm endorsed by ESP, so I asked my guy at ESP, thanks Tony and Kaide Musamaailma, if I could get one, and well, I got one. And the main reason I asked is because I thought this just looked simply amazing, but it's also fantastic to play, fantastic sounding. I haven't done anything with it, it's just completely stock. I even haven't shaved the neck, which I usually do. But this it's like a hybrid between Tele, SG and Les Paul. Passive pickups, Duncan Custom, I think, and a Fat Cat, which is P90, and it's just fantastic sounding guitar. I have this in E standard, so I mean it's just okay. I haven't turned on the rec button. Yeah, so this guitar, I mean, I've done a video about it, but yeah, I've used this a lot, basically always when I've played or recorded something in E or a drop D. Okay, and then another guitar which I actually bought. So EVH Relict Frankenstrat. This came out in 2020. I think the Phoenix did too. So this is just, again, completely stuck, didn't do anything. I guess I have tuned this once when I changed the strings, because this came with a 942 set, I think, and I switched 1052s. And this is just, the neck is like so slim, it feels like it has been played like 20 years, like some of my old guitars, because you know guitar needs to be played in. So, but this feels like old in a good way, right out of the box. It's just a great guitar, and I mean almost too easy to play, because it is so Eddie Van Halen. You know, he was, well, he is still the king. Very good guitar. And then what I've used a lot, as you probably noticed, when I switched the guitars and unplugged and plugged this, there was no usual cracking sound, because these Cordial cables, the cables are very good, very high quality, and they have these Euge silent plugs. There's kind of like this tip that when it goes down, when you plug the guitar, it activates. So there's no, I have a volume on, 800 cranked, and it's fantastic. And I have it on the input as well, so you can, there's no sound. Really good, fantastic cables. Pedals, I didn't purchase that many, because I've been using the same gear for the past 20 years, to be honest. But one pedal that I really liked, and I have used on recordings I've done here for producers, artists, like as a hired gun, these M&Z Audios, the Curve EQ Booster. It's a Swiss company, boutique company, one guy, handmade pedals, very high quality. And this is like a mid boost. It isn't an overdrive, but there's you can select the mid frequencies and then boost them up to like 30 decibels. And then there's a low cut where you can tighten this, and then a high cut, because usually the more gain you add, because this, when you boost the mids with this, it adds gain, really fires up your amp. Sometimes you get those harsh, really high frequencies, and you can cut them out with this. So this is really, I've enjoyed this pedal, especially with like rockier stuff, with scratch and stuff. I mean, my favorite go-to boosting and overdrive amp into more saturation, like for metal and hard rock, whatever, is still the Boss SD1, but this is really cool, because SD1 with single coil pickups, and sometimes it can sound a bit harsh and, you know, well, not that full. I think it's a bit one-trick pony, so I use it for boosting an already overdriven sound. But this is really cool. Anything from mild boost to, you know, really. I've done a video of this. I put the links of all this gear I've gone through and what I will go through, the links to the videos on the description below. Actually, I haven't done a video of the EVH guitar, but I will soon. Okay, so that was the pedal that I think was the best for me in 2020. What else? Well, I played a bunch of amps, did a reviews when I lived in Finland briefly earlier this year. There was some really great amps, but I guess the one I liked the most was the JCM 800 Zach Wild signature. It's basically a 2203X, a reissued 800 with a vertical input, 6 filter caps, so it's kind of like closer to JMP 2203 than to these from mid-80s, which are a bit more aggressive. I really used this amp a lot, and I bought this used, obviously, because only 600 was made back in the day. Retubed it, all the caps were changed, everything. It's a great amp. Now it's set to clean. It's a great amp. It's a Marshall, yeah. This I've used a lot. I also bought the 2000, but that wasn't new to me. I played a bunch of TSLs and DSLs when I was in Shining live. Okay, well, what else? Yeah, this Radial Headbone tube amp switcher. I can't show it to you, but links in the description, picture there. You know what I just did. I can switch between 2 tube amps, so you can hook 2 amps into one cabinet, one reactive load with this. This has come really handy when I've recorded. I've done videos, comparison videos, and when I recorded some, you know, tracks for albums and singles and stuff, you know, no need to switch and wait the other amp to warm up and stuff. So you can, you know, set one amp to like a completely clean and one to overdrive, and then just, and it has a remote switch, so you could actually switch it with a foot in a live situation, or you can place this on the floor also. Then another thing that I've used a lot is this Sir reactive load. Before this year, when I started the channel, because all the tours were cancelled and stuff, I had my amps in warehouses, in studios in Finland, Sweden. Actually, I have one amp in Canada at the moment, which I'm hoping to get back soon. It's a 5150 black leather. That's been there for ages. When I got this, now I'm able to play with my amps and record with my amps cranked with this one. I tried a few other loads, reactive loads, IR loaders, but I liked this the best. This is the most, or at least was from the bunch I tried, and I guess still is the most musical and most realistic. It tricks the amp to behave like the amp thinks that it's connected to a cabinet and reacts very similarly. Fantastic. Then another, my latest, which I've been actually using a lot too, if I want to play with the cabinet and not record, but just jam, this Bugera Power Soak. it's fairly cheap, and I've done a video of that too. It's not so good for recording, but just, you know, if you want to cramp your amps, play with your cabinet at bedroom levels, it does the job really well, really cheaply too. Focusrite Scarlett 2i2, quite cheap audio interface. I originally bought that to be used on the road, because Cyrus, the band that I play in, we released our new album via Nuclear Blast in late 2019. We managed to do 4 tours. 1 Finland tour, week, Sweden couple of weeks, Europe 4 weeks, and then UK 1 week in February this year before everything, you know. So I bought this so I can, you know, jam with plugins with my laptop on the road, record demo ideas and stuff. And then when, well, everything was cancelled, I tried this with my setup and I was like, man, that's actually really good and sounds really good and it has everything I need, basically. I mean, it could have a few outputs and inputs more, but, you know, then I just switch cables, you know, if I want to reamp and stuff, and, you know, but fantastic. Really easy to use, small, because I had a lot bigger one. I still do, but I haven't used it because this does the job. So that was it. And then another I bought was this Radial J48 active DI box, because that way, when I'm recording with amps, I can also always record a DI sound, because some, or actually most producers, if I do a recording for them, they want also the pure DI sound, if, you know, they want to or need to reamp or change the sound completely when it's being mixed. So I use this, basically everything goes through that. So fantastic DI box. Plugins, indeed. Softube's Marshall plugins. You probably figured out that I like Marshalls. And these Softube's plugins are awesome. I think previously they were only available for UAD users, Universal Audio, but now you can purchase them no matter what interface or setup you're using. I've done videos of 3 of those, the JMP 2203, which is my favorite, and then the Kerry King one, and then your standard JCM 800 2203. There's a couple of more and I will do videos of them too. They're great. They are, I think, as close as you can get with a plugin compared to a real Marshall or real amp in general. This acts just like the real amps and behaves and stuff. But obviously real amp is a real amp. There's a certain depth and I guess mostly the feel of a real amp, which I don't know if anyone can ever completely get to a, you know, zeros and ones. But I've used these a lot. They are fantastic. And another plugin that I really like, what I've used a lot, is this Joey Sturgis bass plugins. The Rex Brown, I've used it on, well, Red Wolf's Sessions Volume 1 album. The bass sound was the, what was the preset called? Factory preset Modern Rock. That was it. Then what I got just actually a few days ago from their end of the year sale, Hellraiser. There's, well, picture, you know, Clank. So this is, if you want that clanky sound, modern sound. I mean, you can get this to sound like a, you know, vintage Ampeg in my opinion too. So they're both really great bass plugins. And basically you don't need to do anything. The presets are fantastic. Joey is a fantastic producer, engineer, mixing engineer. And sometimes I've only just changed a few things according to the bass I have, you know, so maybe, or the sound that I'm looking for, but strong recommendation. There's compressors, EQs, everything is set up so that you can blend in clean signal. Well, it's basically you don't have to know anything about how to set up a good bass sound and the modern clanky sound, you know, because there's always part of the sound is DI low end and then distortion high end and certain compression limiting, all in those plugins. Impulse responses. If I had to choose only one product gear this year, if I had to name what was the best, I think Jens Bogren's impulse responses. Fantastic. They're mix ready, so Jens has used a certain cabinets, speakers, microphones to capture the sound, and then he has EQ'd them differently. Some of them have more lows, more highs, more mids. You know, they fit in the mix. Like basically you don't have to do anything. Sometimes if I've liked a certain IR, I've put a high cut in there to remove that really aggressive high-end presence, because they were made to be used for really aggressive, dense rhythm metal guitars, but I've used them on everything I've recorded this year, basically. For cleans, country, blues, metal, rock, leads, rhythms. Like I said, I've only sometimes dialed the high end to jam it a bit for, you know, not that aggressive sounds. Strong recommendation. And I've partnered with them, so I have affiliate link when you can get a discount if you use the link in the description below. I think that was it. That was new for me and that I have really liked and used a lot. Hey, thanks for watching. And yeah, thank you, my dear subscribers, viewers, whoever. I started this basically because of the COVID. Because if it wouldn't be for the COVID, I would be on the road with my band or bands, touring, recording, writing. I wouldn't have time, or at least this much time as I had now, to do these videos. So when I started this in February, I think I had a few hundred subscribers or something, because I had this channel for a couple of years, but I haven't really, you know, it's just been there. So now I have like, I don't actually know what's the latest count. Let's see, 5,313. So I've gotten like 5,000 subscribers this year, which is actually more than I expected. So thank you very much. I will continue to do this because unfortunately it looks like the COVID isn't going anywhere in the near future. So hope you're all safe and sound and will be safe and sound. Take care of you and of each other's. We'll see you again in 2021. Bye.